Hi everybody, I'm Molly Mahon and I'm thrilled to be back printing for Monsoon. So today we're going to be printing a spring inspired table runner. I've got a lovely linen table runner all made up and ready to go. I'm going to talk you through other ideas of creating one for yourselves. And what you're going to need is a sheet of paper and a pencil to do your design, a trusty potato. I'm going to be using this really large baking potato so I can do a nice big bold print. A couple of knives to cut your design, either a paintbrush or these stipplers, they're really great little foam sponges on a stick, some fabric paint, I'm going spring colours here, I've got yellow and green, some tracing paper to move your design off your piece of paper and onto your potato, but the main thing to start with is starting with a design. So I'm going to do a tulip inspired design. So when I do my designs, I try and keep them really, really simple. Don't get too detailed or complicated, especially as we're carving this into a potato. So here we go, I'm going to do a very simple take on a tulip. It's worth remembering this is going to have to fit into half of my potato. You might want to cut your potato out first and just make sure that you're going to fit it in. I always start by just drawing it out on paper first. You can then, with your bit of tracing paper, trace it and put it onto the potato that way, or just use it as a guide and draw it again straight onto your potato. Either way works. So here we've got a really simple little tulip pattern, and I'm now going to get that onto my potato. So now I'm just going to take a tracing of my pattern. Don't be too exact about this because it will change between the original drawing and the final carved piece. So just an idea is all you need. And actually I can see as I'm doing that, I might take a bit out of the leaf. So I've got it onto my tracing paper now. And I'm going to chop down the long length of the potato. Nice sharp knife. This is just a standard baking potato from the grocers. And I'm now going to turn the tracing paper over onto the potato. Find a nice way to get it to fit. There we go. Okay, and I'm drawing over. When you won't get a brilliant impression of pencil straight onto your potato, but what you're looking for is just a gauge, an idea of where you're then going to carve. So there goes. Go. So I've got a little impression now, and I'm just going to use my pencil and just go round it again. Okay, so I've just gone over the outline with a darker pen, so you can see how I've got my pattern onto the potato, and I'm now going to start cutting it away. So I use this really sharp little fruit knife to cut round the shape, and then I actually cut down by about ½ centimetre all the way around the potato. I like to keep as much of the back intact so it's something to hold on to when you're printing. So here we go. And again, you don't need to stick exactly to your design. Use it as a gauge. So if you think, oh gosh, I wish I'd made that petal a little bit longer or shorter, and just first of all, cut round the very edge. And then we'll start to take the bits of potato that we're not going to use away. All the different parts of the process of creating a print I find really pleasing, from drawing and coming up with my first design, to cutting it out of the potato, choosing the lovely colours to print with, to then actually printing on the finished piece. Okay, and a potato is such a low impact way of creating something to print with. It's brilliant. Put it in your compost when you're finished. And the paints that actually I'm going to print with are all Soil Association approved, so I waste as little as I can, as in I wash away as little as I can down the sink, but they're drain safe, so I don't feel bad about the residue paint that we wash away, because it's very low impact as well. Right, let's keep going round the edge now. I'm just scoring round the edge where I'm going to take it out. And now I'm going to start cutting it away where you'll see it starts to break away in a rather satisfying way. There we go, so first bit out. And just slowly work your way all the way around your pattern. So there we go, I've got my little potato print ready to go. The reason you want to cut down quite deeply is that when you're applying the paint onto the top, you don't want it to catch on that part of the potato and then print onto the linen. So you want to cut down as deep as you sort of can. So you can cut away little bits more if you feel that they might not be. So you've got, this one's about sort of half a centimetre thick. And we're ready for printing now. Okay, so I've cleared away my surface a bit and I've just got my pots of paint ready, and these are fabric paints because I'm going to be printing on fabric. They're lovely Soil Association paints. And I've got my potato at the ready. Before I print onto my linen runner, I'm just going to do a quick test run on paper. So I'm using two colours. I'm going to give the petals, the tulip petals, a lovely yellow colour and green for the stem. And I'm not worrying too much about the colours meeting in the middle. I think sometimes you can get quite a nice sort of texture from where the yellow and the green meet. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So I'm covering the top of the potato with a nice consistent even layer of paint. It can take a bit of practice. You don't want to have too much paint that splodges everywhere. You don't want to put too little that you get a very dry print. And it's just practice. So practice on paper before you go to your linen runner. And then when we come to printing, you need confidence here. So I've got it tightly gripped in my right hand, and I'm going to hover over the piece of paper. I'm going to be very clear about where I want to place it, and then I'm going to print. So here we go. And I use my little finger to kind of balance. And I think, where do I want this to print? There. And I give it a good press down. I have some padding on my table. You don't actually need, with a potato, you can be doing this straight onto a hard surface, so straight onto your kitchen table will work completely fine. Lift away. Now you're not going to see the brightness of the yellow here, but you can just appreciate the pattern. It's really cute, it's really simple. It feels almost more crocusy than tulip, but it feels spring-like, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to now move to the linen runner. Got my linen run in here. This is a bit of linen that we have, and we've just given it a very simple hem all the way around. You could go and dig through your linen cupboard at home, find some old sheets or a bit of old linen that you don't need. It's such a fun idea to do a runner because it's not a huge amount of cloth. You can buy lovely linens on places like Etsy, and when we're allowed out again, go and dig around in an antique shop, because really old worn linen is the nicest thing to print on. So my runner is about 2 meters long, and it's about 45 centimeters wide, and I'm going to print round the outside edge, because when I put it across my Easter table, I'll probably put bits and pieces down the middle of the table, so I want the pattern to show around the edge. So once you've got your runner in front of you, you just need to plan a little bit as to how you're going to place your design. I think what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go around the edge of the runner, is start with one in either corner, and I think it's going to leave me enough space to do one either side of the center of the runner. So I'm going to have two there, one in each corner, and then I'm going to start working my way down the length and do the same at the other end. So I'm now going to load up the potato with a nice, even, consistent layer of paint, bit of green, bit of yellow. I'm going to go for my first print. Into the corner, think about where you want it to go, and place it confidently, push it down, lift it up, and there we go, my first little pretty print. I'm going to do another one now, and I'm going to print across in the other corner, and then in fact I'm going to do across the top of the runner, and then I'm going to show you how it looks. So I've done my first 4 little prints, and I'm now going to work my way around the whole runner, and I feel really excited. I think it feels like spring. I can probably tell the light here keeps going light, dark. It's pouring with rain outside. It's really miserable, and this is already making me feel full of the joys of spring and all those lovely colours that we're going to soon see outside in the garden.